Hello, I and Jessica. Before you react, before you send another message, before you try to fix the silence, pause. Because if she's ignoring you, what you do next matters more than anything you've done before. It's not about chasing her attention. It's not about saying the perfect thing. It's something quieter. And most men get it wrong. Welcome to Wise Life After 60, a place where we don't chase people. We understand them, where we don't force connection, we allow it to reveal itself. And today, we're talking about a moment every man faces when she pulls away and says nothing. At this stage in life, silence means more. It's not always rejection, but it's never random. It's not about controlling how she responds, it's about mastering how you respond. In this video, I'll share 5 quiet truths about what to do when she ignores you. Not to win her back, but to become the kind of man she cannot ignore for long. And if you value calm, honest conversations like this, take a moment to subscribe. Because here, we grow quietly, but powerfully. When she goes quiet, most men panic. They send another message, then another, trying to fill the gap. But silence is not something to fight. It's something to respect. There was a man named Kareem, 63. When she stopped replying, he felt the urge to reach out again, to explain, to fix, to reconnect. But this time, he didn't. He sat with the silence. Days passed. Then suddenly, she replied, not because he chased, but because he didn't. With you, I noticed you didn't push. Silence reveals value. If you rush to fill it, you lose it. When she ignores you, your mind goes to her. Why? What happened? What did I do? But your power is not there. It's here, with you. Naeem, 66, used to overthink everything, every delay, every pause, until one day, he changed something simple. Instead of focusing on her silence, he focused on his life, his routine, his peace, and slowly, something shifted. You seem different now, calmer. When you return to yourself, you become someone worth returning to. What many men don't admit is that they need answers. They want to ask, why are you ignoring me? But after 60, not everything needs to be explained. Imran, 68, once asked directly. It didn't bring clarity, it created distance. Later, he chose silence instead. Not as a game, but as understanding. And something changed. She came back, more open. You didn't pressure me. Thank you. Some answers only come when you stop asking. Being ignored can hurt, but how you respond defines you. A man who keeps reaching out loses something. A man who steps back keeps it. Farouk, 61, was used to chasing, but this time, he didn't. He stayed quiet, not out of ego, but out of respect for himself. And when she returned, she treated him differently. You're not desperate. That's rare. Self-respect speaks, even in silence. This is the one thing most men never allow. They stay present, constantly, available, always. But absence creates clarity. Yusuf, 70, used to always respond immediately, always available. Until one day, he stepped back, not dramatically, just naturally. And something unexpected happened. She reached out more, asked more, felt more. I realized I missed talking to you. When you're always there, you're often taken for granted. When you step back, you become felt. So when she ignores you, don't chase the silence. Return to yourself. Don't seek explanations. Hold your self-respect and let her miss you. And there is something deeper that most men only understand later. Sometimes her silence is not about you at all. It's about where she is emotionally. At this stage in life, people carry history, past disappointments, old wounds, unspoken fears. And when she goes quiet, it may not be rejection, it may be reflection. There was a man named Salman, 65. When she stopped replying, he assumed the worst. He thought, I've lost her. But weeks later, she returned. And what she said surprised him. I needed space, not distance. That moment changed how he saw silence forever. Not as something to fear, but something to understand. Because not every pause is an ending. Some are just processing. But here's where most men make the final mistake. They wait, but inside they are still chasing, checking the phone, replaying conversations, hoping for a message. That's not stepping back. That's suffering quietly. True strength is not just physical distance, it's emotional release. Rashid, 67, learned this the hard way. He stopped messaging her, but his mind stayed with her day and night. Until one day, he made a decision. He let go internally, not of her, but of the need. And that's when everything shifted. Because the moment you stop needing a response, you become different, lighter, calmer, unshaken. And that energy is felt, even from a distance. There is also something most men overlook. Attraction at this age is not built through effort, it's built through presence, through how you carry yourself when nothing is happening. Javed, 72, was not the most talkative man, not the most expressive, but he had something rare, stillness. When she became distant, he didn't react. He continued his life, his walks, his habits, his rhythm. And when she returned, she said something simple. You feel peaceful to be around. That is what draws people back. Not pressure, not pursuit, but peace. And sometimes you must be honest with yourself. If she continues to ignore you, if the silence becomes a pattern, then the question is no longer, what should I do? The question becomes, what am I accepting? Because self-respect is not just how you act once, it's what you tolerate over time. Iqbal, 69, waited months, always hoping she would return, but she didn't. And slowly, he realized something important. He wasn't being patient, he was avoiding the truth. So he made a quiet decision. He moved forward, no anger, no blame, just clarity. And in doing so, he regained something far more valuable than her attention, his dignity. Because sometimes the most powerful move is not waiting longer, it's walking away peacefully. So understand this clearly. When she ignores you, you are being given information, not instructions. You don't react, you interpret. You observe, you decide. And the strongest men are not the ones who always get a reply. They are the ones who remain unchanged whether they do or not. Because your value was never in her response. It was always in who you are without it. So take another breath slowly. Let the silence be what it is, nothing more, nothing less, and continue becoming a man who is not shaken by absence, but defined by presence. And in the end, it all comes down to something very simple, but very rare. Most men spend their lives reacting to attention, reacting to silence, reacting to how someone else feels. But a man who has lived, who has seen enough of life, understands something deeper. He understands that peace is more valuable than attention, that self-respect is more powerful than approval, and that the right connection never needs to be chased. Because when a woman truly values you, she doesn't create confusion, she creates consistency. And when she pulls away without clarity, without effort, without care, that silence is already telling you something. Not with words, but with absence. And a wise man listens to both. There was a man named Hamid, 71. He had spent years trying to understand people, trying to adjust, trying to be enough. Until one day he stopped, not because he gave up, but because he finally understood. He said something simple that stayed with him forever. If I have to convince someone to see my value, they are not meant to see it. And from that moment, everything in his life became lighter. His relationships became clearer. His presence became stronger. Because he was no longer trying to be chosen, he was simply being himself. And that is the final shift. You don't wait to be noticed. You don't wait to be replied to. You don't wait to feel important. You become a man who already knows his place in this world. A man who wakes up with purpose, who lives with calm, who speaks with intention, and who walks away when something no longer feels right. Not out of pride, but out of understanding. So if she ignores you, let her. Not as a test, not as a strategy, but as truth. Let her show you what she is willing to give, and then decide what you are willing to accept. Because your life, your time, your energy, these are not things to be spent chasing uncertainty. They are things to be shared with someone who meets you with the same clarity you bring. And maybe the most powerful thing you will ever realize is this. The moment you stop needing someone else to respond, to validate, to choose you, is the moment you finally choose yourself. And from that place, everything changes. Your words carry weight, your silence carries presence, and your absence carries meaning. So take a final breath, slow it down, let go of the urge to react, let go of the need to understand everything, and simply stand still in who you are. Because a man who is grounded within himself is never ignored. He is simply observed, felt, and remembered. If this message stayed with you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more quiet truths like this. Because here, we don't chase noise, we build something deeper. And until the next time, remember this: the strongest move you can make is not always forward. Sometimes it is standing still with complete certainty in yourself. At this stage in life, you don't need to fight for attention. You don't need to prove your worth, because the right connection doesn't come from chasing, it comes from presence. You are not a man who begs to be seen. You are a man who understands when to step back. If this message spoke to you, like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more quiet truths. Take a breath, step back when needed, and remember, sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do.